offering suggestions to you, emotional suggestions, ideas, offering them to you constantly. Well, sometimes you're just not in the vibrational mood to hear it. So you don't hear it, but you hear something. We just want you to accept that whatever it is you are hearing, if you will trust that you are hearing, will eventually lead you to a firmer, more obvious path. But there's something stuck in your vibrational craw. It's true for all of you. You want to go directly from where you are to where you think you want to be.
Right.
And your inner being does not want you to miss all of the fun. Your inner being does not want you to miss all of the things along the way, all of the other things that are really essential to the big picture that you have at the other end. Sometimes your biggest criteria is just get there fast, when there are all kinds of elements that you want to develop within you that will all be part of the bigger picture, because this isn't just a path to that. This is a path to that, to that, to that, to that, to that, to that, to that. And the source within you knows the whole big picture. You're only looking on the temporary picture, you see. And so, if you were going on vacation, you're going to go to several different places, really a nice itinerary all lined out, and you say, well, I'm here and I'm going to go there and there and there and there and there and there and there, and I'm going to come back home. And then you say, wait, home is my final destination and I'm already there, so why go? Why bother? Why bother with all of that? Because all of that's just going to lead to this anyway. But you don't go on the vacation to get it done. You go for the insight, you go for the expansion, you go for the new ideas, you go for the creative juices, you go for the rendezvous, you go for the clarity, you go for the impetus, you go for the momentum, you go for all of those things that are all part of it, you see. So if we could just zap you with what we know about your project, this is what we would zap you with. It's for sure. Have fun on the way. The only reason you're not having fun is because it's not showing up right now, and then you doubt. If you knew it was for sure, wouldn't you be having more fun along the way? Well, it's for sure. It's for sure. And when you get there, at the other end of it, you're going to say, oh, now I see that. Now I see that. Now I see that. And we know you want somebody to give you all of that now. And we are giving it to you to the degree that you can hear it, to the degree that you can realize it, you see. You really don't want all the punchlines right away. Enjoy the joke. If there's not some satisfying setup, then there's no satisfaction at the end. So enjoy the satisfying setup. Enjoy the satisfying setup. We'll hear you. Do you believe that you are the creator of your own reality?
I am.
And do you believe that through life you put lots of components there?
Oh, lots.
And do you believe that the source within you knows every one of them and that they are all important?
They're so important.
And do you believe that as they unfold, as they are realized by you, started to say as they reveal themselves to you, but that's not the point. They are revealing themselves to you. As you relax and allow this revelation and this realization and this realization and this realization, don't you just want to eat up that path? Don't you just want it to last forever and ever and ever? Don't you want to never get to the end of it? Don't you want it to just keep exploding with new wondrous things, new expansion?
There's so many projects that will follow and are following and are already on the way, and I already see them.
So if you're eating a delicious meal, really a delicious meal, and you look over there and there's another one going on over there, and there's another one going on over there, there's another one going on over there. Do you really care about those as long as this one is satisfied? That's the feeling that we want you to embrace. We want you to try to reach for that feeling of satisfied with where I am and eager for more. Have you ever gone to a movie that took you on an emotional roller coaster and just wore you out? It ended happily, but you were exhausted by the time it was over. And now you've taken a friend to see the same movie, but you're not having the emotional roller coaster because you know what's at the end. We know what's at the end. In other words, that's why we're steady in our awareness of where you're going. You've got to reach for the steadiness that we know. You've got to stop freaking out over the things you don't know and reach for the steadiness. Reach for the unconditional steadiness. You got to reach for the emotion of steadiness and certainty and sureness and absoluteness and invincibility. You got to reach for those feelings and then watch what happens. The other day, because we've been talking a lot about this unconditional love stuff, and Esther likes to call it unconditional clarity and unconditional fun, unconditional alignment, all of those other words that mean the same thing. So she's sitting on her porch in Texas, overlooking the pool. And everything she sees is more beautiful than it has ever looked before. The pool itself, the trees around it, the birds in the trees, the statues that have been created that are standing next to the pool. Everything is so beautiful. Esther cannot believe how beautiful it is. She can hardly stand how beautiful it is. And then she says, Abraham, wait a minute. Those are conditions, every one of them. That pool is a condition. It's infinity edge and it's zero edge. Those are conditions. The statues are conditions created by a magnificent artist. The tree, hundreds of years old, it is a condition. What are you talking about, unconditional love? I'm focused upon conditions and I feel love. And we said, well, you are focused upon conditions, but you were feeling love before you focused on them. You were unconditionally aligned, and that's why in this moment they look more beautiful to you than they have ever looked before. That condition isn't producing the love. You found the love first, and then you were able to see those conditions through the eyes of Source. And there's a very big difference. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? You find the alignment with Source, and then you look where you're looking. And then you're going to love where you are, and you're going to love the new ideas that find you. You're going to love the feeling of the path beneath your feet. You're not looking for the path. It's there. You are realizing the path, you say. Feel the difference. It is a difference, isn't it? So then, just lighten up. Be easier about it. Have more fun in it. If it's a sure thing, then effort. Effort is not your friend. Effort's what you do when you don't believe. Effort's what you do. You try really, really hard when you don't know that you've got the energy that creates worlds at your back. You try really, really hard when you don't understand the source energy is right there and that it's all lined up and all you got to just do is relax and find your path or realize your path. Trying is your indication that you're not going with the flow. And so often you do that. You work so hard. You work so hard. You try to use your effort and your action and your hours and your hard work and your stamina and your grit and your determination to cover up energy that's misaligned. Cut it out. Focus upon the energy first. It's easy to do. You just got to practice it a little bit and then watch what happens. And as those manifestations are realized, and they will be soon, as those manifestations are realized, the feeling of accomplishment and the feeling of worthiness and the feeling of right place, right time and the feeling of all things in perfect order and the feeling of it all will descend on you simultaneously as you realize you're blessed and always have been. You just haven't been letting it flow quite like you can. Helpful?
Vielen Dank. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Very good. Felt good, didn't it? You got it too, didn't you?
It's a personal privilege to find myself and these eager cohorts behind me to welcome you back to London. Because they've been eager.
Powerful calling. You're supposed to get everything you want.
The basis of today's question is with regards to the duality of life and the path of least resistance. And the reason why I frame it in that way is a few weeks ago, somebody that brought laughter and joy to millions of people passed away in a set of circumstances seemingly that to him he was taking the path of least resistance. And I'm wondering whether you're able to tap into that which is Robin Williams to help us understand his now perspective.
We want to talk about the path of least resistance, and we want to talk about it in the way that you're asking. It's not in the way you think you're asking, but it is in the way that you're asking. And you're really going to like this. It's going to put a whole lot of things in order for a whole lot of you. So just relax and hear this. So you followed us already that you are source energy in physical bodies. Did you? So, and do you believe it? Well, whether you do or not, it's the way that it is, so deal with it. So you are source energy. In other words, there is an extraordinary path. You had intention when you made the decision to come forth into this physical body. Very, very strong intentions. That's a path. And when you find thoughts and vibrations that resonate with that path, you feel the flow. When you get crossways of it, you don't. So here you are in your physical bodies, sometimes feeling positive emotion on your path, sometimes feeling negative emotion, resistance to your path. But that path is powerful. So now, here you are, exploring just like you knew you would, sifting through the variety of your life experience, launching rockets of desire, and adding to the path. Source right there with you, flowing the path, flowing the path, flowing the path, flowing the path. Well, the longer you live, and the more you ask, and the more you sift and sort, and the more you know what you don't want, the more you define that path. And your source energy understands that path, more than understands it, becomes it, is this vibrational frequency, this path, this point of attraction. So now let's talk about law of attraction. And let's talk about the vibration of the source within you. Can you feel the path? Can you feel the calling of all of that? Can you feel the current? Can you feel the flow of all of that? When you get resistant to that flow, when you know what you don't want, you launch more rockets about what you do want. And so sometimes you launch so many rockets about what you do want, so many that the current gets very, very strong. And then the path of least resistance simply is go there. Ideally, when you are here in this physical body, see what we want to talk to you about all day, every day. We want you to acknowledge that part of who you are. And we want you to find resonance with that part of who you are. And there is nothing that is more exhilarating in all of the world, in all of your experience, than to be in a moment, allowing the fullness of who you are to flow. And this person that you speak of did that frequently. Didn't do it mostly, but did that frequently. Had found a way to get into that vibration, not really so different from what Esther is allowing here, where broader perspective is flowing. Well, the more you do that, the more you experience the clarity of standing in your wholeness, the more you cannot bear to not be standing in your wholeness. You see what we're getting at? Eventually, under all conditions, that will be your path of least resistance. And we don't